Hello. Today we are starting a new series for the channel called Things Scott Likes, because y'all really seem to enjoy it when I talk about things that are not booze, so why not lean into it a little bit. Today we're starting off with something that is one of my absolute favorite things in the world, which is Imani's navy bean pies. It is probably, like, if I made a list of my favorite traditional American pies, once we start to bring in the rest of the world, things might change. But for American traditional pies, bean pie is right at the top of the list. I love bean pie. Now, some of you might be saying, hearing me talk about a bean pie and thinking, okay, it's savory? It's like a savory pie? No, this is a dessert pie. It just happens to have, it's really an adaptation of sweet potato pie, where instead of sweet potatoes, you have mashed navy beans. And if that sounds strange, I mean, I don't know what to tell you. Like, throughout the rest of the world, globally, bean-based desserts are a huge thing. If you have not taken the time to visit like a Chinese bakery or something and get yourself for like a red bean paste bun, do it. You gotta do it. I mean, bean-based desserts are terrific because mashed beans, they've got texture, they've got very mild flavor, which makes them a perfect vehicle for, well, sugar, but also like spices, flavorings of all kind. And yeah, so I absolutely love navy bean pie. Now, this comes from a little bit of a different tradition than a lot of the other bean-based desserts you will see around the world. This is really something coming out of the Nation of Islam. And I should probably give some idea of the history behind that. Nation of Islam has been a lot of different things over the century or so of their existence. Broadly, you could think of it as starting out as a very American Black liberation, social reform infused, let's say, interpretation of Islam. Famously, Malcolm X was a member before he left to become a mainline Sunni. Famously, Muhammad Ali, also a member until he left to become a mainline Sunni. Also, Muhammad Ali famously blamed his loss to Joe Frazier on this pie. Like, his chef just made it all the time. He said he just ate too many of them. I think Ali really just had problems with kind of aggressive counterpunchers like Frazier. He also had some trouble with Floyd Patterson. He had more trouble with Floyd Patterson than he did with Sonny Liston. Anyways, so yeah, and then like after Elijah Muhammad died and the organization passed to his son, the whole organization really shifted to kind of mainline Sunni Islam. Although a different branch the Farrakhan branch kind of took off and took on the name of Nation of Islam, even though they're technically like a branch of that, and it gets very complicated. We're not even talking about the 5%ers here. It gets complicated, basically. So yeah, you're talking about one of the things that this tradition did, anyways, was try to reform traditional Black cuisine, particularly soul food. This started. I mean, this was really going on under Elijah Muhammad, sort of culminating in his books in the '60s, How to Eat to Live, that series. But I mean, it was starting already with Fard Muhammad in the '30s. Anyways, one of the big points of emphasis was the navy bean. There were more, but that really became, and this particular pie really became a symbol of Black liberation, the Nation of Islam more broadly. Anyway, so what do you got here? I mean, I'm gonna plate this. So that is the history of this. I stumbled upon this stuff like probably 10 years ago, I don't know, something like that, at a basically like a big dinner that someone brought one, and it was a transformational experience for me. But then I struggled to find more of it. And by the way, like I bought this pie arrived like a couple of days ago. My kids destroyed this. They crushed this. And I don't blame them. I don't blame them at all. Anyway, so I was introduced to this at a potluck, basically. And then my wife really did the looking around and the research for it. We tried a bunch of different ones, and our favorite was Imani's here, which was sold at a health food store not too far away from us, and then that place closed. And then I managed to get down a couple of times to Imani's kind of storefront on, I think it was 71st or something like that. Sorry, still getting over a cold. And then that closed, and I was kind of in despair that I couldn't get my absolute favorite pie in the world. I mean, this for me is peak pie. I mean, look at this. Anyways, so I was in despair after the storefront closed, but then I found out they have a website where they, well, I knew they had a website, but they deliver. And indeed, if you are buying over $35 of pie, or whatever you're buying from them, they will ship free. Now, the pies are not inexpensive. You get a 9-incher like this, and you want the 9-incher because these will be gone in a couple of days. You want the 9-inchers. I mean, they're over $30, so you buy one of these and you're already in the free shipping zone. But totally worth it. Would I take a couple of pints of gourmet ice cream over this? No, I absolutely would not. Anyways, so this was my test case of ordering pie online from Imani's, and I was expecting to get a box of crushed pie and stuff, and no, this thing arrived packaged so that it could take small arms fire. I have not received spirit shipments that have not been packed as tightly as this pie was. So kudos to them. Go give them your money. They have a couple of options. My wife's favorite is the one topped with cream cheese. I like just straight up bean pie. Because, oh my God. Oh. Oh. Honestly, I've never been a fan of sweet potato pie. I've tried. I like it in theory. I just never... it feels like the sweet potato is getting in the way of the delicious nutmeg and the cinnamoniness of it. This fixes that problem. The navy beans provide such a grainy texture in your mouth. It's amazing. But they're also so mild that it really just lets the spiciness kind of roll right on through. Oh my God. I'm not eating on camera. Oh. Whole wheat flour for the crust. It's a very, again, kind of a grainy crust, but in a different way than the filling. There's so many different little textures going on in this stuff. God, I love it. I did worry when we were going to our health food store and buying tons of bean pie. Given the history of this, given that I'm a white lapsed Presbyterian, folks, I do not belong to the history of this pie. So despite how much I enjoyed it, it was a constant point of worry for me of whether it was mine to enjoy. And what kind of fixed that? What fixed that? What flipped the switch in my brain was the first time I went to Imani's website. The first thing you see is a big banner on top that says "Bean pie is for everyone." I was sort of oh yeah, right, because I don't know how it is where you are, but the Muslim community in Chicago is probably the nicest, most open, most welcoming community in the whole damn city. So, I mean, bean pie should be for everyone. Like, maybe it's not, historically speaking, my pie, but it's for me. And I mean, just in a broader sense, if you start to think about politics, for example, start to think about which figures, which leaders are really pushing, like, social reform agendas, justice, just policies that help normal freaking people. Right at the top of that list, you're going to find a lot of American Muslims. It is worth bearing that in mind. Great community, and I love their pie. Anyways, so you're going to ask yourself, has Scott done any thinking about pairings with this? Yes, I absolutely have. Which you may partake in if you're not observing restrictions against alcohol. The thing is, I don't think alcohol is the best pairing with this, honestly. Like, could you throw a traditional dessert wine like a Sauterne or something at this? Yeah, I think, I mean, it's not going to not work, but I don't think there's going to be synergy, really. You want something that's got some bitterness in the back end. Maybe an Armagnac or something, maybe, but, like, I would just do a cup of coffee. Maybe a cappuccino or something, something with some bitter bite. You could play around with a stout or a porter, but you're thinking about it too much at that point. Just enjoy your pie. Have some espresso on the side if you want. Oh my God. So there you go. Imani's terrific. Oh God. Chicago South Side business. I will be buying more of this. I might even try to make my own bean pie. There is a recipe from Muhammad Ali's chef that I really want to try out. The problem is it's scaled up to make 2 pies, and there's 5 eggs. You can't really split 5 eggs in half, so I don't know if I can do it. That's a lot of pie to do in one go. I might try it anyways. Anyways, thanks for watching. Go give these people your money. It's fantastic. If you are bored, if you're looking for alternatives for Thanksgiving pie or whatever for the holiday season, try a bean pie. I'm telling you, try a bean pie. It is phenomenal. Thanks for watching, and cheers.